We're live. Luke's a bitch. Man doesn't know how to wake up early before school and for fucking work. But here we are. I had an abridged weekend. Honestly, if I'm going to be quite honest, I had a relaxing weekend. I had to recover. Didn't make as much content as I would have liked. But thank God a video about Operation Shingun got almost 6,000 views to help carry me through yesterday. But how's your day doing, buddy?
It's just started. It's raining out, which was weird.
It was snowing yesterday, so
I want a refund. This is bullshit.
rains all the time in Florida in the winter. Florida's rain month is from like August to like January. It rains once a week.
No.
Yes, it does.
0 for 3. No. The rain season, I guarantee you, is like summer.
You think? I feel like it's the end of summer.
Yeah.
Like August, September is always when like the hurricanes and the storms would come in.
Yeah.
It's like wicked storms. I'm not talking like a little bit of rain. No, like those storms that when we'd be on the show and I'd be like, dude, what's going on? And you'd be like,
yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, you would always be like, what the fuck is that?
yeah.
It's 4 o'clock. This is what happens.
That's like, dude, in the Midwest, they're like crazy lightning shows. Like you'll look out the window and you'll just see like fucking like Zeus going like having like a DJ show. Like you're just like look out the window. You're like, that's like a lot of lightning. like that's definitely striking somewhere. But we got a lot to talk about today. Kyrie Irving is back. The Lakers are like low-key on a run. Guess what team's winning? The Phoenix Suns. The Oklahoma City Thunder are legit. And what else you have to add to this? We also got ourselves a little bit of the Clippers. Scottie Barnes has been on a tear. And a bit more, whatever the fuck over here this man wants to talk about. How you doing?
Yeah. Good morning, bro.
Good morning. I was just putting the tags in right now.
Oh, that felt so good.
Was that your leg?
That was my elbow. That was my left elbow.
Did you break your left elbow one day and now it's like super like poppable?
No.
That's what happened to my girlfriend. She broke her elbow. Now like her elbow is like incredibly like flexible. But let's start. Have you seen what Kyrie's been doing? Have you been watching Kyrie Irving? Have you seen what this 30-year-old man is doing? Averaging 26.7 points a night, but over the last three games, all right? He's put on 116 points total. Do you know what's 116 divided by 3? That's 38.6.
Oh.
That was a good guess. 38.6 points a night for the 30-year-old man who's been helping this team get some wins. Kyrie, is he still a top 10 player in the NBA?
Dang.
Is Kyrie showing that he's still a top 10 player, or at least I think he's definitely top 20, but I think the big argument would be, is he still top 10? That's a good argument, right?
It's a tricky one because the league's so talented these days.
Exactly.
That his 27 a year, I wonder where that ranks across the NBA, like even just points wise. Is Kyrie still a top 10 player? Get back to me on that one. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, what do you have?
He's been on a tear.
48 a couple of nights ago. Well, they really need him to do it because they're really struggling without Kevin Durant. And
but give credit to Nick Claxton and the rest of the boys who have been putting up.
Man, they've all been going off.
Yeah,
let's give credit. It's insane. Claxton's going off. Yeah,
Depoy right there. That guy's the defensive player of the year.
He's making his case. I still think Joe Harris needs to go, and I still think the Nets are like.
I just think it's very hard to trade Joe Harris. I agree with you. Joe Harris should get the fuck out of here. The only teams you're talking on the Spurs or unless you think Gordon Hayward's going to make a difference, I bet you could maybe convince the Hornets to be like, we'll send you Gordon Hayward, but you know what I mean? Like, there's not many trades out there. Who would a team be willing to take on Joe Harris? It's kind of, but Joe Harris's contract isn't as bad as Duncan Robinson's.
Yeah, Duncan Robinson's the worst contract in it.
Yeah.
The Bulls would take Joe Harris.
Is Duncan Robinson's the worst contract in the NBA, or is it Zach LaVine's?
What? No. What? No. I can't believe you uttered those words. No, it's if Zach LaVine was putting up like 8 points and was like the worst defender in the league, I'd say yeah, it's Zach LaVine.
Okay. You got a good point there. Okay. But
it's a fair point. So
I was just saying it in the sense that, like, I know you know how like Bradley Beal and Zach LaVine have like arguably the most untradeable contracts.
They're a little on the pricier side.
Sure. Yeah, they're. But so with that being said, I look at Kyrie right here. But let's get back to that. We talked. So a few days ago, it was still announced that our man Kevin Durant was still in a walking boot, and I wonder if that's gonna mean anything. What do you think of the fact that he's still in a walking boot? Do they need? I said this whole time they at least need to go 500 or near 500 until Durant goes back. I think right now they're on a 2-game win streak.
Yeah,
and that means they're 2-5 since Durant got hurt. If they can win a few more games. We don't know how many games. I said he was going to miss like 16 games. Right now, he's closing in on 10. Still in a walking boot.
Yeah, it's still going to be a little bit. I mean, what do you think before or after All-Star?
What's the All-Star break day?
I mean, it's coming up. It's got to be around.
It's after the deadline, right? It's after the deadline?
That's a really good question because I think a couple of years ago it was before.
Yeah, but from now on, wait. I'm pretty sure the deadline.
I think All-Star Weekend is really soon. I think All-Star Weekend's like Valentine's Day, and then I think
February 19th. It's on my dad's birthday. So
what is?
All-Star, because the deadline's on the 9th. And
okay.
And right here, yeah. So because they used to do it before, after they used to do the trade deadline after the All-Star break. Yeah. It would be really weird because some guys would get traded on All-Star Day, like the day of the game.
Yeah, that's messed up.
What happens if you get traded from the East to the West and you're like mid-game and you're playing for the East? Do you just take off the jersey and walk to the other sideline and put on a West jersey?
They switch it out for you.
They're like, by the way, you're on an Western Conference team now, and just mid-game you just see like
that would be brutal.
That'd be so embarrassing.
But the Nets. So all right, so Kevin Durant. I don't know honestly if he'll come back before the deadline, just especially if the Nets are winning, because you don't want.
But we're about a month away from the. I think he comes back before the All-Star break.
All-Star weekend.
All-Star weekend. The reason why I think he comes back a week or two before the All-Star weekend to play like 2 or 3 games to like be like slowly like brought back in, so he doesn't have to go full force. That way, he's already back by All-Star weekend, so he can spend All-Star weekend ramping up. So by the time the All-Star weekend ends, he's like fully back into shape.
Yeah, that's fine. But anyway, I mean, Ja-less Grizzlies last year kind of set the precedent for, hey, if you're without your best player, here we're gonna go 21-2 or whatever they went. So that's not really a good excuse. So they need to start picking up these wins, which they've done the last. What was it, Friday and yesterday? Kyrie Irving's been a large, and you could argue the reason why. But guys like Seth Curry are stepping up, and there's a lot of talent on this team. I would love if Ben Simmons could figure it out eventually, as far as offensively goes. So I guess we'll wait and see. He's had 1 double-digit game since the start of the year. Or
Kyrie?
January. No, Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons, yeah. I mean, we'll see. I mean, Ben Simmons, I feel like he's been a lot like angrier, and in a good way. Like he's angry. He's hangry.
Yeah, like that Spurs game really stood out to me because he's without they're without their pieces, and he takes like 5 shots right below the rim. He attacks the rim like 5 times in the first 5 minutes, and we don't see him. And I know he was dealing with some fouls, but just stopped attacking the rim, and I don't get why. So
No, I agree.
I know that I know the injury, the athleticism is still working its way back, and I don't think it's. For me, I don't think I'm gonna even. I can't constitute making any disses on him until after the All-Star break. So
Let's pivot right here. The ageless wonder, 37 points. Lakers make a comeback history against the Portland Trailblazers. Pat Bev said his watch broken. His watch. That was like the best Pat Bev moment of the season. Like Pat Bev has a moment that the broken watch.
keep him.
Morning. Yeah, at this point, keep him. But morning, Bruno. But
So obviously, the Los Angeles Lakers are currently the best team in the Western Conference.
I mean, not by record, but if you want to say on
As far as current hotness goes, I've got them all the way at flaming because T. Morant is the most annoying person on the entire planet, and coming in at number 2, the answer has to be Dylan Brooks. Dylan, listen. Unfortunately for you, you've never accomplished anything, impressive in your NBA career. There's this guy called Shannon Sharp. Cyro, do you know who Shannon Sharp is?
Of course, I know who Shannon Sharp is.
He might be the best tight end of all time. He is a Hall of Famer.
Travis Kelce or Robert Gronkowski's probably one of them.
According to Mr. DB, he's a blogger. So I don't like the disrespect. The Lakers channeled their hatred for the Memphis Grizzlies for greeting and doing stuff on other teams' logo, and also just like Dylan Brooks, never have won anything. So it's interesting. It was a great win. It was a phenomenal win. Shout out to Dennis Schroeder for sealing the deal. And then, yesterday was a big football day, and I'm on my phone. I see the Lakers are playing. I throw it on, and Lakers scored like 12 points in the second quarter. It was a complete and utter blowout. And Mr. LeBron James, the GOAT of basketball, TB31, putting up 30 plus. Dennis Schroeder having another game. And the icing on the cake is Mr. Anthony Davis, a top 10 player in this league. He's coming back on Saturday, possibly.
All right, so the Lakers have done a really good job of staying near 500 since Anthony Davis has been out. I mean, there have been times when this team has looked down and gloomy, but then there's times you're like, oh my God. So, is this a team? And I hate to continue to talk trades because this is a team that they're not going to do any big trades. And I don't think there will be a trade. But is this a team that still's looking to make a move, whether it be a buyout player through the free agency market because they have roster spots open, or are they looking for an easy trade that they can just trade a second round pick? But at this point, Kendrick Nunn and Pat Bev have both played better. And we know that Jay Crowder, Rudy Gay, and Will Barton are the 3 most likely buyout candidates, if not traded, by the February 9th deadline in 2 weeks. Do you believe that this team is at this point saying, fuck a trade, we have roster spots open, I think 2 or 1 roster spots open, at least 1, potentially 2, that they can go out and sign a guy like Will Barton, a guy like Jay Crowder, or a guy like Rudy Gay if they were to get bought out?
It's a really good point because, like you're saying, these guys are stepping up. Kendrick Nunn, no longer Kendrick None. He's shooting. And this is a 15 point per game score in its first 2 years. So I'm glad, it seems like he's kind of finally back from that injury. Pat Bev, you've always wanted to trade this man the entire year. I've never understood it. I've told you every single time. And guys like Wendy and Gabriel, pretty important. Max Christie, Max Christie from Arlington Heights, Illinois.
He's been a dog.
Yeah. So you bring up a really good point. If guys like Rudy Gobert gets dropped, if guys like Rudy Gay and Will Barton and Jay Crowder, if they do hit the buyout market, I hope the Lakers 100% get after it. I've been saying all year that the Lakers need to make a trade, and it needs to include Russell Westbrook, which I still stand by, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong, because I think once we get to the playoffs, it could be a big issue. But as far as the rest of the core goes, and the young cats, Kendrick Nunn, et cetera, I don't know. Trading them's in their best interest right now.
Yeah, no, I think right now it's in their best interest to continue to look at the buyout market, because I'm not sitting here saying, oh, I got Rudy Gay, Jay Crowder, or Will Barton's going to be the reason why they win a championship. Nah, but honestly, Will Barton's the one that intrigues me the most. Rudy Gay would just be their Jared Dudley, but I think if you look at this, I think if bringing in a guy like Rudy Gay, Jay Crowder, or Will Barton, if they just anybody off the free agency market, because I know they at least have one roster spot open, is something that I think they would benefit tremendously from, due to the fact that this is a team that I think starting lineup is a lot better than people want to give them credit for. And I feel like they're one or two pieces away from having they just need a guy off the bench that can reliably come in and hit 3-point shots.
Three is a big thing.
And that's why I think Will Barton's the biggest guy here. I know Will Barton's been butt cheeks this year. I mean, maybe it's just not a good fit, but he's only played in 36 games for the Wizards. He shot, I mean, thankfully, yes, he shot 37.5% from the field, but he is shooting 36.5% from three. So the 3-point shot is still there, and he's primarily only taking threes. And then the numbers are terrible. But if we look at his last season with the Nuggets, which was last year, and hopefully he can be
his whole career, really.
Yeah, his whole career. This is a guy that for his career, 25 minutes a night, 11.5 points, 35, almost 36% from three, 43% from the field, 4 rebounds, 3 assists almost, a little under a steal, and a little under half a block a game. In the last few seasons, he's a guy who can easily come in and give you a low double-digit points a night, few rebounds, few assists, just playing the role that they need. He would play the role that they would need him to play. I think, having a guy like Will Barton off the bench would help them tremendously.
Yeah, they're dead last in 3-pointers made. They're only making 10 threes a night.
And Will Barton's
players do that.
Will Barton's last game he played was January 6th, and he played 17 minutes, scored 14 points in 17 minutes, shot 5 for 8 from the field, 8 attempts, and 5 of those attempts came from 3, and he made 2 for 5 from 3, grabbed 4 boards, 3 assists. Imagine that 17 minutes for the Lakers. 17 minutes, 14 points, 8 field goal attempts. 5 of those field goal attempts are threes. 2 of those made were threes, and then 3 other makes. So 5 attempts he made out of the 8. So it's just like that. Though that's what you would want if you're the Los Angeles Lakers.
Real quick on man Armando. This Laker team, or it's more so. Sorry, Blazers. It's a mess.
Do you want to touch Portland real quick?
Do something really quick. Yeah. But LW4 has been out. AR-15's been out. Obviously, AD's been out. This Lakers team they're a little bit banged up, and they're still. Did you know that the Memphis Grizzlies were on a double-digit game win streak before Friday? Right.
I actually didn't know that, but I didn't know it had gone to double digits. I knew it was at like 8 or 9 last I checked. But let's touch real quick about the Portland Trailblazers. Dame says he wants to win. Dude, it's been weird to start the season. This Portland season was going fantastic. They were in the middle of the playoff hunt. They truly seemed like a team that could potentially, they were playing well without Damian Lillard, and we were just like, holy shit, once Damian Lillard comes back, this team was going to, go to the fucking moon. And that's how it's been. That sound I made, that's how it's been since fucking Damian Lillard came back. It's just like, whoa. It's weird because I swear to God, this team had a better record without Damian Lillard.
they've pretty much been. It's been a more slow downhill, but
It's
they've
gradual
pretty
because
much sucked since November.
yeah, and they came out where I thought at one point they were above 5, like they were a top 6 team in the West at one point in the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
Without Lillard. We were
We
the whole
were-
time saying
yeah.
like once Lillard comes back, this team's gonna go off.
Yeah, we were
And
like, this is definitely a 50-win team now. Like,
yeah.
we knew it. They were 10-4.
And
They
those
started the season 4-0.
yeah, and they were 10-4 with what, like 8 or 10 games without Lillard, where it was just Grant, Simons, Nurkic, Hart. That's when Shaden Sharp was going off. And I don't know what happened here, but since Damian Lillard, like you said, since November, this team has been gradually regressing, becoming worse at defense, becoming worse at offense. And it was weird because at the beginning of the season, it looked like it was working. Yes, I know injuries have played a part here, but
Yeah.
I don't know. And if you're watching right now, hit that like and subscribe buttons. Be a friend and tell a friend if you guys did enjoy. And if you don't enjoy, forget it ever happened. Go.
It's really tricky. I love Rip City, but
I love Rip City.
something needs to happen, man. Even some of my OG favorites like Josh Hart, like I need more. I just need more Josh. So it's tough. I don't think trading Anthony Simons is the answer at all. I mean, he's a dog. He's a beast. He's a stud. Could it be Yusuf Nurkic? It could be because as what's Armando said, Nurkic is getting outplayed by everyone. I don't care if he's shooting threes, trade him. It's cool to see, like especially towards the beginning of the games, Nurkic knocking down threes. It's like, whoa, cool. Like that's fun. That's new. That's exciting. But he's one of your more leverageable trade pieces. But he's also on the contrary. He's kind of like, as far as money goes, he's kind of like that works for a lot of teams. Yusuf Nurkic works for a lot of teams,
and he's a walking double.
Yeah, but it's also like, all right, there's clear upgrades out there.
He's shooting 38% from 3 this season on 2 attempts a night.
Yusuf Nurkic.
Yeah, 2 attempts a night, 38%, almost 2.5 attempts a night, 38% from 3, career high. Like he's hitting the most threes of his career.
I don't know if trading him is the right move because I think he's such a budgetable.
There's very few big mans who make how much money Yusuf Nurkic makes, and I think Yusuf Nurkic makes what, like 14 million. He makes under $20 million a year, okay, which is like for what he does. He comes out. Listen to this. He shoots 10 field goals a night at 52%. 2 of those field goals are 3-point attempts, which he's hitting at 38%. Gets to the free throw line 4 times a night, grabs 10 rebounds, dishes the ball about 3 times, and has 3 assists a night, averages a block and a steal a night, and has 3 to 4 fouls a night while giving you 14 points. And he's shown that he can be a guy who averages 18 a night. And I think really this team, their big thing is, I know the injuries have hit them kind of hard. Justice Winslow's out. And I know they just got back, I think, Nas Little's working their way. This is a team that if you look at it, they kind of stagger minutes. Anthony Simons, Damian Lillard, Jeremy Grant, Josh Hart, Yusuf Nurkic, and Justin Winslow all play. And that right there, that's just what I just read off to you guys were 6 players that all play 26 minutes or more. And then it just drops from those 6 guys to your 7th guy in your rotation, Shaden Sharp, who's only playing 19. Then your 8th guy is only playing 18 minutes. And then, yes, Gary Payne's been back, but he's only playing 16 minutes a night. So I really think, yes, Gary Payne's been awesome in the games that they've won because of him since he's been back. But at the same time, I think this is the bench. Like I like Shane Sharp. I like Justice Winslow. I like Gary Payne. I like Drew Eubanks.
Yeah.
But do you see what the problem right there is with that bench?
No scoring.
No scoring. Yeah. Like you got Justice Winslow, 7 points. Shaden Sharp, 7 points. Drew Eubanks, 6 points. Gary Payne II, less than 4 points.
Yeah.
There's no scoring on that bench.
Yeah, I know they'll stagger with Anthony, but I think this is a team that needs to make a splash. They're 21-25.
Also, what happened to Josh Hart? What happened to Josh Hart?
That's what I said right when you dipped out. Like, I love Josh Hart, but I need way more. Like, I need way more from you.
We saw it last year, and even the beginning of the year. Josh Hart last year for the Portland in those I know it was 13 games, but he was averaging 19.5. For the Pelicans the same season in the 40 games that he played for them, he averaged 13.5. How are you averaging?
Right now, like
9.5. 9.5.
Let's need more. So this is a team that needs to make big time splash. I don't care if it's John Collins. I don't care if it's Kyle Kuzma. I don't care if it's Miles Turner, OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam. I don't care who it is. Mo Bamba, Nerlens Noel, Sadiq Bey. That's my idea. I think this team is going to do something because the clock is ticking. And
who do you even offer for Sadiq Bey? Like Naz Little?
Yeah, it's gonna have to be some nice draft compensation, regardless who they trade for. But yeah, I think you're gonna have to give up an unideal piece, and I don't think Nazir Little qualifies necessarily as an unideal piece when you look at the consequences of not making a trade like this. So
it's just like Naz Little's. Do you trust that Sadiq Bey can replace Naz Little's defense? Like obviously
I do enough. I'm so worried about. You bring up a good point, though, because I guess statistically, offensively, they're way better than they are on defense. So you bring up a good point, but like you get Nerlens in that. So
I know, but like, whose money are you sending then? Because you don't have money.
It's really. I think any trade for this team, as far as getting a starting caliber player, is gonna be really tough. They're gonna have to give up somebody you don't want to give up.
That's what I'm saying. Like the only contracts that are worth trading are Simons, Lillard, Grant, Hart, and Nurkic. Your bench you can't trade. Like no one on your bench you could trade because like this is another team that could benefit from bringing in a Jay Crowder, Will Barton, or a Rudy Gay to their bench.
You could get away with like Keon Johnson as a chip. So you could possibly get away with like a Josh Hart and Keon Johnson.
But you're losing too much at that point. I feel like you're losing too much.
You're gonna have to lose. I think you're gonna have to lose him.
Yeah.
Maybe if they would do little Keon in a pick, I don't know if you guys would, or I don't know if you would be more interested in that. I would be way more interested in that. I don't want to give up Josh Hart. It is, as statistically, it's not even that desperate of a decline. I just more need him to do a little bit. But it's like I'm at that point for Portland where I'm so desperate. I will take Mo Bamba. I will take him.
Mo Bamba would be nice for this team. I think Mo Bamba's a lot of teams, but I think Orlando's playing Mo Bamba more now too. Let's pivot over here.
You got to watch out for teams using them as like guys like Gary Harris, though. Like, all right, yeah, you haven't played for us all year. You're out of our rotation. Let's throw you back in so you can build that trade value back up.
Did you know the Phoenix Suns are on a 3-game win streak?
Good for them.
And over their last 7 games, they're 4-3.
I would imagine and assume it's because of Damian Lee.
Dude, Damian Lee's cooking.
He's a dog, man. The Golden State Warriors should have brought him back, and they know it. We all
know Damian Lee's from like where I'm from, like in Maryland. He went to Calvert Hall. Like he went to high school. Well, he's obviously like 7 years older than me, but he went to this Calvert Hall, which is like
it's like a nice bottle.
It's like it's a private school in Towson, Maryland, like where like your cousins are from.
Yeah.
And like literally it's probably like 5 minutes away from your cousin's house. Yeah, so like Damian Lee's from like Baltimore, Maryland. So shout out. Yeah, shout out Damian Lee. Isn't he married to Steph Curry's like sister?
Yeah.
And that's like the whole reasons why he made it into the NBA.
Bullshit. I will end you. I am upset with comments like that.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No, he's talented. He played 5 years of college ball, but let's like be honest, like he made it.
We all want to do that.
Yeah, like he made it into the NBA with the Atlanta Hawks, and then like he's a good player. Like I'm not taking anything away from Damian Lee.
You're related to Steph Curry. Yeah, it's not blood, but we could get on Steph Curry's good side. He's a max. No, he's a good player.
Yeah, let's all just bang Steph Curry's sister.
Oh. Oh.
But
Is this old fucker back yet? When's he back?
who?
This old fucker on the screen.
Oh, Chris Paul's back. He was back last
He's
game.
back. So that was his first game back.
Yeah,
Had to
and
be, yeah.
it was his first game back. Chris Paul dropped 22 points, 11 assists. He turned back the clock.
Did he really? That bastard. I just traded this man and Steven Adams for Rudy Gobert in fantasy. And
That was a terrible trade.
It's all horrible. Rudy Gobert's played like 4 minutes for me.
That was a
Steven
terrible.
Adams is a superstar. He's playing like he's Joel Embiid right now.
Steven Adams is a dog. But what I want to talk about is Mikal Bridges.
Yeah.
Mikal Bridges.
He's on here.
Took his game to another level. Like, another level. Mikal Bridges over here. He was already, for the last few seasons, a guy that I've said has been an underrated defensive player. He was a defensive player of the year last year. And for the season, yes, he's only averaging 16 points. But that's a career high. He averaged 14 last year. The year before that, he averaged 13.5. The year before that, 9. And the year before that, 8. And he's, shooting 39% from 3. Yes, he's shooting 46% from the field compared to the last few seasons of about 50. But you have to think this guy's taking way more shots than he's ever have. Yeah. He's being asked to be, sometimes the primary scorer, sometimes a secondary scorer. He's also being asked to be a secondary creator. So he's averaging a career high in assists. I just think, hey, this man, Mikal Bridges, 26 years old. And one thing that's crazy is I didn't know he played 4 years of college ball or 3 years of college ball. So he was a guy who was a few years older than other people. He's 26 years old already, but Mikal Bridges, Dawg, 10th overall a few years ago. What are your thoughts of Mikal Bridges and the Suns? I know you're not a Suns fan, but
no, I'm not.
Do you think the Suns are a team that are capable of turning this season around?
They 100% will. Chris Paul is back. That's huge for him. Mikal Bridges is stepping up. I think he's got like 5 straight 20-pointers or something like that. I think somebody – and he already was seeing a slight field goal increase this year, but somebody finally said, like, hey, Mikal, like you shoot – you're like kind of almost a 50, 40, 90 guy. You can shoot more than like 9 times a game. He's like, oh, okay. And maybe the Devin Booker injury helped. And somebody had to come up to him and be like, hey, Mikal, you can shoot more than 9 times a game. And he's done just that. And like you said, he's getting to the free throw line a little bit more. And I mean, the man's an absolute walking bucket. So that certainly makes it easier. And I think DeAndre Ayton's having a really under-recognized season. And getting Chris is monumental for him, as much as I am not a huge fan of the guy on the screen right now. It's big for him. They need Book back, but they're this is still a top 6 team in the NBA, and I still think they're going to lose in the first round. They're back to 500, and my prediction still stood right that they were going to be below 500, and I'm very proud of that analysis. But now is time for a new prediction. They're going to start climbing their way back.
Let's just give some credit to Kyrie.
Behind the back.
Ball don't stop.
Look at this Kyrie video. Just a little credit, Kyrie Irving putting work. This is my favorite play. 3, he misses it 3 times, and then on the 3rd time, he did 2 putbacks.
I've got a friend who plays just like Kyrie, and I call him Kyrie, and it's very fun to watch.
I knew this Asian kid. He was from Hong Kong that I used to play at the rec with, and he would play like Chris Paul. Like, dude, it would like he like I would call him Chris Paul.
Be dirty?
No, he would just have like
be a motherfucker.
Like how Chris Paul does that, like crossovers with the whole body shake and shit like that. He would do that all the time. It was just like he just had a quick first step, and his favorite player was Chris Paul. He would just do a lot of Chris Paul shit. I would just be like, damn. And he was like shorter than me. I will say, Asian basketball players are some of the quickest motherfuckers I've ever played against. Like, they have some of the quickest first steps I've ever played against. Like, I mean, obviously, like, I play like against, but like guys who are like Asian basketball players that are good, they always have such a quick first step.
Damn.
Like, because like not for some reason, but at my school, a lot of the best, a lot of the Asian kids who play basketball are from like Hong Kong or China, and their favorite sport's basketball, just because how big basketball's there. So
Yeah.
a lot of them play basketball. So like if you go to the rec, there's like so there's like different games that you can play in. There's obviously you can go and play with like the kids who think they're hoopers, like the ones that like half the kids you'll meet, they act like they're gonna walk onto the basketball team or some shit. You know what I mean? You're just like, bro. Like we do preferred walk-ons here. We don't really walk on people to fucking the basketball team. Like you get asked to walk on. You don't walk on. Okay, that's not like what we're doing. So it's just kind of funny. So like those guys are like the tryhards. A lot of them probably played AAU, and they're like, it's usually just like a bunch of like, you know, black guys or like white guys who like try to act, you know, like kind of ghetto, and like those games are games are fun, but like I play like and those are like the most challenging games, but at the same time they're annoying because they all play like hood ball, so like they call the fouls, you don't call the fouls, you know what I mean? Like I don't know if that makes sense. Like if you're playing and because I play really deep, so they'll call fouls on me. So when I do something, and I never call fouls, but if I call foul, they'll be like, no, that's not foul. Bro, you're over here acting like we're playing NBA. And then when I say you literally slap the shit out of me, you're like, nah, shoot for it. I'm like, okay, I guess this is how it is. And then there's the other games where it's just like half the guys are good and the other half are shit. So like it's like two or three guys on each team are pretty much playing against two or three other guys on the team, even though there's 5v5. And then there's like the shit game where like people are wearing just like sneakers, you know, like they're not even wearing basketball shoes.
Yeah, that would be me.
Yeah, like I try never to play in a sneaker game. If I'm in a game where I'm like one of the only guys actually wearing basketball shoes, I can't play in that game. Like I got to be in a game where mostly everybody else is wearing basketball shoes. If you're wearing like Nike free runs and like New Balances and you're trying to play pickup basketball with me, I'm just gonna be like, bro, like
I miss like freshman, sophomore year, just going to the hoop.
the rec.
Transfer student with no friends. Like, make some friends hooping. It's one of the easiest forms to make friends
or make enemies. I've almost fought so many kids playing basketball. Wow. Dude, I get like because people don't like playing basketball with me because I play too aggressive, and like so like half the time, dude. I don't make friends at the rec. I make enemies.
Wow. Okay. Well, there's something messed up with you because that's one of the oldest forms.
Yeah, dude. I'm like diving between people's legs. I'm like grabbing the ball out their hand. Like I'm like playing physical as fuck. And like half the time,
fine.
If you start talking shit at me, I'm not a huge shit talker, but like my big thing is just acting crazy. So when people like start talking shit or they throw elbows, I'll throw an elbow back at you. That's my big problem is like when I do a spin move, I put my elbow high. So I try to get someone in the jaw. When I try, dude, the other time I was going to fight with a whole team because like I wasn't even playing with my friends. I joined a game and my opposing team, like I wasn't even friends with them. With the other team just kept trying to fight me and I kept sticking my tongue out because that's another thing I do. I go like when they get mad at me, I'm like like that to their face. Always I'm just like just sticking my tongue out at them. And they just don't like because I'll throw elbows. I'll like, you know, I'm like Pat Bev. I'm like in your face. Like I told you, like when we were playing, I accidentally I don't give people room to land. Like I purposely close in on people's rooms to land so they land on my feet so they get.
Okay, yeah, don't play with Cyro. No,
yeah, I don't. Jeez. Yeah.
That's
dude,
I can't. That's not respectable.
Oh no,
I can't.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if you get hurt. If you get hurt playing against me, that's not my fault. That's you being a pussy. Like injuries for pussy. Like I don't care.
Somebody will humble you one day.
Oh, I've been humbled, dude. I've been humbled. I get up and I keep going.
I can't say I'm upset with that after those last couple statements.
Like I've been laid out in basketball, and I'll just get out there, and then I'll go for a loose ball, and if the loose ball's near your knees, I'm sorry.
That's like basketball respect number one is you have to give them space.
I've told you this. I've also told you this.
Respect.
Loose ball. If I played in the NBA, if there was a loose ball and there's like an old woman, I'm putting my shoulder out to use the old woman as a cushion, and then I'm throwing the ball.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I won't even apologize.
You gotta give people,
I wouldn't apologize to the fans. I'd be like,
people.
If the old woman was like 80 years old and I broke her collarbone because I was trying to put a ball back in play, I said, "Bitch, get out the way. Don't buy courtside seats."
Yeah, and that's
So,
fine. They're
I mean,
expendable, but you got to give people space to land. So
I told you I broke some kid's ankle like a month and a half ago in a rec league game on a rebound. Bitch got in my way. His foot landed on my foot.
I mean that happens.
That one was actually on accident, but yeah,
Yeah,
shooting
that
threes, I'll
happens.
close out on you. I don't give a fuck.
Tough breaks, tough bends.
Verticality, bro. Oh yeah.
Sometimes it just happens, especially
Uh,
on high balls.
let's talk about the OKC Thunder though.
Yeah,
OKC.
this guy gives space to land.
Are you a fan of what the Thunder been able to do? Do you think the Thunder are going to blow it up? Not blow it up. Or do you think the Thunder are going to wrap it up and tank? Or do you think the Thunder are legit? This is a team that's currently the 18th best offense in the league with their rating and the 9th best defense in the league with a 10th best net rating. Are we going to talk about the fact that the Oklahoma City Thunder are a team that can go ahead and make the play off? They're 11th in the Western Conference. They just beat the Denver Nuggets. I know Nikola Jokic wasn't there, but this is a team that's playing without Jeremiah Robinson Earl, Poku, and Chet Holmgren. A team that's currently a team that is one of the best defensive squads in the league. Josh Giddey's been a dog hitting the three-point shot. Shea all season long. Lou Dort, Jalen Williams, arguably the second best rookie behind Paolo Banchero. Okay. You got yourself Kenrick Williams, underrated. What is your thoughts on this team? Jeff Berg asks, can we talk NBA? And Bruno, yes, you're right. I am the local Matthew Dellavedova. I get told I'm King Hustle all the time. I'm out here waiting to be put on an IV because of dehydration, like Matthew Dellavedova did in 2016. But Poku's out right now with, I believe it was a broken, I want to say it was ankle, not ankle. He had a broken leg. It was a non-displaced tibia fracture, similar to what Obi Toppin suffered earlier in the season. But what are your thoughts right here? Who's the key pieces? I think they found their core. The core is Shea, Lou Dort, Josh Giddey, J-Dub, Kenrick Williams. Obviously Chet, like that's like right there. And then I feel like there's still the rest of the guys, So
I'm done talking about the core. Kendrick, I think, is very expendable, although obviously.
I think Kenrick's their like Grant Williams. I think Kenrick Williams is their like Grant Williams, Royce O'Neal, Jay Crowder
Celtics next year. So, all right. Here's the thing. I still don't think OKC gets to the play-in tournament. I think they should try, which they're obviously doing right now, and they're doing a pretty good job about it. The only reason I bring that up is I think, and I'm so glad to not be playing Josh Giddey in fantasy this week anymore. That was a tough week. He's so good. He's so talented. And, Shea obviously is a stud, and the future is very bright for this team. But the way I see it, in the top 10, there's only one available spot, and I think it's going to be the Utah Jazz because I think they'll blow it, or they're not going to do a full blow up, but I think they'll make some trades. So there's only one spot available, but then you're also battling out with Los Angeles, Portland, and Utah. The way the season's gone, they probably still won't just fall out of it. I think it's in their best interest to compete. I know that's not what the plan is, but I don't think establishing all these losing cultures helps out basketball teams. However, this is a good team as far as drafting goes, which I think is hard to say about a lot of teams in the league. So I think just keep going, keep trying. I mean, we're actually only 2 months or 2 weeks, 3 weeks away from the trade deadline. I don't think this team was going to make that many trades to begin with. So I'm not even thinking about
Darius Baisley. The only person on this team that's tradable is Darius Baisley, and that is because he's going to be a restricted free agent, and this is a team that only has one first-round draft pick this upcoming draft. And you got to think about you got to think about it like they got to start making. We've talked about the core in so many videos. They've got to start making decisions. Who's going to be their 9-man rotation next year? Which of these players are actually getting? Because next year they are a playoff team. Next year, it's kind of how we think about the Orlando Magic. It's kind of how we think about the Detroit Pistons. They're going to probably start bringing in vets. So that is why, like, only player on this team right
Yeah.
now is Darius Bazley, who could be traded. Then in the offseason, this could be a team that we see, maybe they do trade, Trey Man.
Kevin Durant.
I don't know if not Kevin Durant. I mean, I think this is a team that definitely goes out and gets themselves a vet,
Bradley Beal. Just kidding.
No, but like how
Kuzma.
a few seasons ago, the Memphis Grizzlies traded for Jonas Valanciunas and then eventually traded for Steven Adams. And, they brought
they're on a nice, This is they're
when you take,
vets away.
there are a couple vets. Like Orlando has a couple of vets, Detroit has a couple of vets, because when you feel like you want to take that next jump, and this is how I think the Memphis Grizzlies did it best. You run with your young guys for 2-3 seasons, and then in season 4, you go out there and you bring in 2 or 3 vets that come off the bench, or maybe one of them to start with your young guys. So then you bring vets who have playoff experience, have winning basketball experience to help these young guys who are now in year 2, 3, 4, whatever, be able to make the playoffs, to make that jump, know how to be, because right now they're just playing with other 20-year-olds, they're not playing with, their only 30-year-old on this roster is Mike Muscala. Mike Muscala is not going anywhere. Supposedly, Mike Muscala, if you ask him about the city of Oklahoma City, he starts crying about how much the city of Oklahoma City means to him and like how much this Thunder. Yeah, Mike Muscala is supposedly like obsessed with Oklahoma City. He will take as little money as possible to stay in Oklahoma City, and the Oklahoma City Thunder will continue to pay Mike Muscala just to be on the roster because that's how they love him.
Sounds like a bitch.
Yeah, Mike Muscala's a big fan. But let's pivot. You know who's been an absolute dog? You know who's been an absolute dog in the NBA?
LeBron James.
Scottie Barnes. Scottie Barnes. Okay. Over the last 7 games, 21 points a night, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 53% from the field, 39% from 3. Scottie Barnes broke out of the sophomore slump.
Yeah.
I think, do you believe he was in a sophomore slump?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
I think he was in a sophomore slump in terms of his shooting. I think he became I think he just defenses got a year of film on him last year. So this year defenses were collapsing on him, forcing him to take a 3-point shot. Okay. And he had lost confidence in attacking the rim. But I feel like over the last few weeks, he started to figure it out, started to, build up his confidence and started to make plays that I think he, in the past, beginning of the season, wasn't making, and were plays that he was making last year. And now I feel as if you look at it, he's going out there, his 2-point percentage is going back up, his effective field goal percentage is going up, and same thing with his free throw attempts. And I think we're starting to see the complete version of Scottie Barnes, the guy who can go out there, average 20 points a night, grab 8 rebounds, dish out 6 assists, guard every single position while having an above average 3-point shot.
He's done a phenomenal job in the last couple of weeks, but it's not enough. It's just simply not enough. It's great for his personal development, though, for sure. This Toronto Raptors team this week is going to be the most important week of their season. They are 6 games below 500. This team is absolutely desperate. OG Anunoby just got injured. I think he should be fine, though. Precious has looked great in the last 2 games, by the way, but Freddie's also picking it up.
I will say Precious is a guy that the move on.
Not Precious. It's time to make a trade, and it might be OG. And it probably should be OG.
I was just shocked, absolutely shocked this past year how little they played Precious Achiuwa for a majority. Like as of the January,
there was some injuries, but I agree.
Like last year, he showed. I thought they would move. Like last year, I thought Precious Achiuwa showed us a lot, and this year, I know the 3-point shot has been a struggle, but over the last few games, he's been back in the rotation, kind of how he was last year. But last year, I really do think that Precious Achiuwa. I really thought it was Scottie Barnes and Precious Achiuwa were 2 players that were going to, come into the starting lineup, maybe.
Oh wow. Well, Scottie Barnes is a starter, but
I thought they were going to be the 2 young guys in the starting lineup with, it was going to be like a Scottie Barnes, Gary Trent, OG, Precious, and Pascal.
Precious does need to play more. He had a really nice weekend, but they're going to Golden State, Sacramento, Portland, Utah, Phoenix. I believe are the next 5 road games. Next 5 games are all on the road. You're already like 6 games below 500. So it's make or break time for Toronto. And if they lose it, they might just do a quick retool. And OG might be on the chopping block. I love OG, but I don't think he's. The issue is he has not. And he's not that involved in the offense. And I get it, he's a 3-and-D type player, but he's like their 4th option now with Scottie Barnes. And it's just kind of hard for him. I don't.
Honestly, the best.
Were injured, he was hooping.
Okay, can I? You're the Toronto Raptors. I'm the Phoenix Suns. I'm calling. Hey, we're interested in Fred VanVleet.
No, I don't want.
Wait. We'll give you a 1st-round pick. Dario Saric, Jay Crowder, and Landry Shamet.
Disgusting.
And an unprotected 1st-round pick. Landry Shamet's under contract for a few seasons.
Yeah.
Dario Saric and Jay Crowder are expiring. Landry Shamet's only like $10 million you're paying.
Yeah.
And you get a 1st-round pick. And Fred VanVleet wants $30 million a year. By doing this deal, you're able to still keep Gary Trent Jr. And you get yourself, a power forward and a small ball 5, and you also get yourself a 3-point shooter in Landry Shamet that you desperately need. All for, Fred VanVleet.
And is Kyle Lowry forcing a trade and coming back? Who's playing my point guard? Who's my point guard?
Fred VanVleet's going to the Suns, and then your point guard is going to be
Scottie
Barnes and Pascal Siakam, Malachi Flynn.
Lucky me. No, that doesn't work for me.
You don't think so?
No.
I feel like the value is a good value, though. Like, if they had a point guard that they believed in, I feel like a deal for Fred VanVleet.
Sure, I'll take Markelle Fultz, Terrence Ross, and Gary Harris.
Oh, that is a better deal. But do you think? Oh, that is a better deal.
No, I don't think Orlando would do that.
Orlando wouldn't do that. Orlando wouldn't do that. I think another deal that's even better is Markelle Fultz or Gary Harris, or even Gary Harris and Terrence Ross. Straight up, that was a better. Yeah, you're right.
I don't like any of the Freddie trades I've seen, and I get it. He's unrestricted free agent. I actually thought he was a player option, but I guess I'm wrong.
I think he does have a player option that he might be declined, but. For me,
I
think
it's like $20 million or something.
The only reason I say the Suns trade for him for a first is they would trade for him midseason because they would have, technically it's not tampering, but they would hit up Fred VanVleet's agent. They'd be like, look, if we trade for Fred, will he verbally agree in principle to re-sign this offseason?
Yeah, I wouldn't trust a thing the Phoenix Suns say to me.
Yeah, the blanket's right here. It's a heated one, bro, from Brookstone. Is that what it's called, Brookstone?
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom got me it for Christmas. It's like really nice, dude.
Wow, it's cold today. It's like 68.
No, fuck you. It's like 30. Plus, my window is not properly sealed, so there's a draft that comes from my window. Like my apartment's set to 71, but my bedroom's at like 64. So it's a little bit annoying. Because sometimes when it's like 10 degrees outside, my room is like maybe like 40.
That's the move. Just get some blankets.
All right, so Bruno, the whole thing with the Phoenix Suns, their owner situation, I think Matt Ishba, he came out and said that they're willing to make a trade and start. But let's pivot because I want to talk about something before we go. The Los Angeles Clippers.
Load up.
I mean, they won last night. And last night we saw Kawhi and Paul George combine for 51 points. And then you got another 19 to bring it to 70 points with Norman Powell, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard. All right. This is a team that I truly believe is just a point guard away from being capable of winning. Do you agree? Like if they had they're running Terrence Mann now. And I love Terrence Mann. But Terrence Mann is more of a shooting guard.
Guys are injured, as always with this Clippers team.
I love John Wall, but John Wall, I think he's more of their like a high-level backup point guard for this team. It's just It's just, and then Reggie Jackson is, dude, I feel like I don't even know what point guard's available, but let's just say if this team could go out and get themselves Monte Morris.
That's interesting.
I feel like just having no. I just think if they could bring in a point guard who's even a Goran Dragic, a guy who can literally just pass.
Or Russ.
Yeah, but I just think a guy who just can be a floor general.
Yeah, so they're gonna have to move on from some other wings because they have way too many. I think it might be Terrence Mann. I think Rocco will definitely be in there. You're right though; they need a point guard, and they've been a point guard away from being a point guard away for like 4 years now.
And
So
health.
is it gonna happen this year? Kawhi's done a phenomenal job
Is this
recently.
the last year though
This should 100% be the last year
of this team,
I
right?
think so. If they don't show me anything, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if they make it to the Western Conference Final and they lose, I think you bring it back one more season. But
The only thing is, like, I don't know if Kawhi's itching to get out. I don't know if Paul's itching to get out.
yeah, because it comes back to the thing. It's hard to find somewhere where you're wanted.
Yeah, like they like each other, so I
That's
don't
what
know.
I'm saying.
We'll see. I'm not too worried about it because I think they're a game above.
Do you think we underrate how much the notion of being wanted is something that is desired in the NBA?
I don't know. I think if you're a good player, you're a good player.
Also, the other reason is when do they move to Anaheim? Is it this summer or next summer?
Oh, for the new stadium?
Yeah.
They build those things really quick these days. So
Let me search up New Clippers Arena. They broke ground in 2021, and it's called the Intuit Dome, and it should be ready in 2024. So that's the other thing. Do you think they would keep this team just so when they move to Anaheim, they can rebrand and be branded as Kawhi and Paul George team in Anaheim?
I mean, they could be. This is a team that to me, I don't think they rebuild anything, even if they were to trade them. This whole decade, for like 14 straight years, they've been a playoff team, and then they had that rebuild they were a horrible team to start the 2000s, but sorry, Clippers fans. But
What do you mean, Chris Kaman, bro?
yeah.
Also, shout out to today's show. We had like 15, 16 people watching at one point. We averaged like 11 to 15 the whole show. So thank you for that. Mornings have been better. I love mornings.
Yeah, once you get moving, still got to wake up a little bit. Yeah,
Really?
I agree, Chris. Well, yeah, I stayed up till like 4 a.m. watching Survivor like an idiot.
Oh, dude, I fell asleep at 10 last night. I put an alarm to take a nap between 10 and 11, and I was going to wake up at 11 p.m., make videos from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m., and then go to sleep from 1 to 7, but I didn't wake up. I woke up at 3:45. But, okay, so Bruno, I'll actually just pull up the link. So they're owned by Steve Ballmer, the former Microsoft guy, and what's happened is right here, this is called the Intuit Dome. This is what it's supposed to look like. And it's actually fucking sick. It's basically going to look like it's actually going to be right next to SoFi Stadium, which they recently built for the Los Angeles Rams and Los Angeles Chargers. But the Clippers acquired this venue, which they actually, so they acquired the Kia Forum, which is the old Lakers Forum. And what ended up happening was that something like, I think it's on the property of the Forum, or like right next to it. It's actually like owned by the Clippers, and nobody plays at it anymore, but they bought it so they could get the land. And what they're doing is they started constructing a arena there in Anaheim that they're calling it a basketball palazzo, basically a grand residence. And they sold the news right. And supposedly it's going to have an 18,000 seat arena designed by AECOM, a multinational infrastructure consulting firm. And it'll include a practice facility, sports medicine clinic, team offices, retail space, and a large outdoor plaza with basketball courts that will be open to the public. It's going to be basically it's going to basically be like almost 1 million square feet of.
It only fit 18,000.
The arena, because that's what the NBA demands. The NBA does not want arenas bigger than 20,000. They want their arenas to be under. Yeah, it's kind of like the XFL, when they do their football stadiums, they're trying to play in MLS stadiums because they're only like 10,000, 15,000 Major League Soccer stadiums. And the XFL wants smaller stadiums because they're going to have smaller crowds, so it looks more full. So the NBA, very similar. Like NFL stadiums are 70,000. So NBA, they rather have a 10 to 18,000 foot stadium. And basically, this is a rumor I have perpetuated. I don't think nobody's really talked about this, but personally, I believe when the Clippers move to their new arena in 2 years, they will rebrand similar to the Angels, who used to be known as the Los Angeles Angels. Now they're known as the Anaheim of Los Angeles Angels. I think the Clippers will do what the Anaheim Ducks did when they moved from Los Angeles, when they used to be like the Los Angeles Ducks because they were owned by Disney and they were named after the Ducks movies. They are going to be called the Anaheim Clippers, so they can brand themselves differently and not be known as the other Los Angeles team. They'll be known as Anaheim. Just branding shit, and it just makes sense to separate themselves from being always in the shadow of the Clippers. I mean, the Lakers.
Yeah. On the contrary, Los Angeles is a pretty big deal.
Well, but the thing is the Clippers weren't from Los Angeles; they're from San Diego.
Okay, so yeah.
They were called the San Diego Clippers because of the big sailing community in San Diego. That's why Bill Walton was traded to
Trustees, bro.
Like Bill Walton was traded to San Diego after
1982.
He was 79. He was traded. No, 70. Yeah, 79. I read the book. That's why. In 79, he was traded to the San Diego Clippers because they thought by bringing him home to near his home, because he went to UCLA, he would be able to save the Clippers, but he wasn't. And then they relocated to Los Angeles. But either way, let's play a game that we like to wrap up every episode with, as we're a little bit over on time. And here we go.
I don't get paid for this. It's like overtime.
Yeah. Who is this?
Oh, it's always the ears.
Evan Mobley.
Oh, shit. Yeah, not even close.
I know.
Read it a week. That looks
Harrison
like
Barnes.
Thomas.
Who'd you say?
It looks like Isaiah Thomas.
Doesn't.
It could be Harrison, I guess.
He's in that conference. He's older than 30.
Oh, that's not Andrew.
He's on the Clippers and he's 6'8". I know who it is.
It's Paul George.
I think you're right.
Yeah, we were just talking about it. We just saw his face was fresh in my head.
Alrighty. How'd you feel about getting that?
Well, as Bruno points out, I always win now. These days, it's just the norm.
You got any closing thoughts?
Another day, another win.
All right. That's it. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right. If you guys did enjoy today's show, be a friend and tell a friend. Thanks again. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll be back tomorrow, same time as always, 9 a.m. Eastern time. And goodbye, guys. Be a friend. Tell a friend, because it's greatly appreciated. So we're going to head out here and let you guys be, but love y'all. Bye.